Hello and welcome to our goal setting magic. My name is Katie, and I want to introduce you to a few new ideas and some tips to make your goal setting feel great for you and super effective. So, one of the ideas with goal setting is that it is tied emotionally to the outcome. So when we tie ourselves emotionally to the outcome, other emotions come up. Our mindsets that we've created based on past experiences come into play too. And all of that creates our approach to reaching those goals. And sometimes we unconsciously create limiting beliefs for ourselves, and we create mindsets that stop us from reaching our goals. So what I'm introducing today is going to help you bring awareness to some emotions that might be lurking there that are gonna interfere with your goal setting. This can be applied to any of the goal setting. This could be your goals of how you want to feel by the end of the day, every day, or how you want to be prepared for every week. This could be a goal for your business. This could be a goal for the month, for the revenue. This can be a goal for your fitness. So any area where you have a goal, you can apply that to. So first step is to have a goal. And sometimes we want to do it on the first of the month, or, the first day of the year. New Year's resolutions come to mind because ultimately that's a goal. But it doesn't have to be on the first of the month. You can apply this to any goal that you set on a Tuesday, which is the 23rd of the month. It does not matter. But our mind sometimes just works better with that clean slate of the first of the month, especially if you are applying this to your business. There is certain monthly things that happen in business, and this could be beneficial for that. But for any other goals, you can apply it at any time. So first, we're going to need a goal. And even if you are an excellent goal setter and you know how to set them and you reach them with just no trouble whatsoever, the tips and ideas that I'm gonna include today are helpful to make the process of achieving your goals easier and feel like magic, and you feel great about it. Because sometimes, we can put all that hard work in and reach our goal, but at the end, we might feel burned out. And then the next month rolls around and we're just not able to put in the same effort because we have exhausted some of it along the way. So if we make it easier and we make it more aligned, we're not fighting against ourselves, against our own mindsets we created, against our own emotions that we didn't sort through, and it just doesn't smoother process, that we can reach even more of our goals and of our dreams and live an intentional and purposeful life. All right, so it all starts with setting a goal. So go ahead and write down on a piece of paper, in your planner, or on a spreadsheet, your goal that you would like to reach. One thing with goals, because we already talked about mindsets, it's going to be helpful to see it every single day. So you can grab a marker that you can write with on your mirror in your bathroom, and you can write your goal right there. You could take a Post-it note and post it next to your mirror, because chances are you're at that mirror every morning getting ready. So if you have your goals there, and after I share some tips with you, some extra things there with you, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to revisit them every morning, get excited about them, bring them to the forefront of your mind so the busyness and fullness of the day does not take over. So now that we have written down that goal, we're going to rewrite it as an affirmation. And if you're not familiar with affirmations, affirmation is a statement set in in the present time, and it's a positive statement. So that means if you're setting a goal, if it's a fitness related goal, maybe you want to run a 5K. I am running a 5K at the end of this month, instead of I would like to run. Our mind comprehends words very literally. So when we tell it that I am running a 5K, it starts to believe that slowly. At first, it might say, like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is not on our agenda. But as you continue to feed your mind this idea and you're working towards that goal, that's where that alignment, that's what that smooth sailing is created, because we're prepping our mind to accept that idea. So we're not fighting against it, and don't run into things on days when we skipped a training that our mind's like, well, that's over. Let's not do this again. So let's write that goal in a positive statement set in a present time. I am earning, put your revenue there if you're a business owner. If you're looking for a new job, I have an interview for my new job by May 31st, 2021. Put the date next to it. It's helpful. If it's a bigger goal that you're working on, that's great. You can break it down, maybe take a smaller chunk, set it in the positive statement. Anytime you're trying and working towards something, try creating an affirmation for it. Put it next to your bedstand, put it next to your mirror in the morning, and repeat it to yourself and see how that shifts your mindset and shifts your approach to how you reach the goals. So now that we have this goal that we're working towards, and we set it in positive present time in the affirmation, part of us already is reading this and saying, I don't know why we wrote this even down, right? Like, I'm not there yet, but that's okay. The idea is that we're working there, we're going there. So next, I want to introduce you to an aroma freedom technique. It's a beautiful technique that was created by Dr. Benjamin Perkus, and you can look that up, aroma freedom technique. His last name is Perkus, Perkus, and it uses our sense of smell to access emotions that are that are still that we're still hanging on to based on certain things that happen in our life. But every time we feel a certain way, we feel a certain emotion, we tie it to that past experience, and to our mind says, well, I can do this calculation. This already happened. Nothing good came out of it. We're not doing it again, which is a great way our mind works for things to keep us safe from, but not from mindsets. Because once we create, we cut ourselves off from possibilities, even exploring them, because we have failed in the past. We have had an experience that was not what we wanted to. Once we start creating those, we're limiting ourselves. We are cutting off opportunities that we could have taken. So the aroma freedom technique works through those. And it's beautiful to set to your goals, because the start of this technique is setting a goal. So you set a goal, you put it in a positive affirmation, and then you listen to your own voice in your head that tells you why this is not possible. So if we're back to that running a 5K, there's something telling you why it's not possible when you wrote it out in this positive statement. So that's the technique. So you can apply it to anything. You know, you set a monthly revenue goal and your mind is like, whoa, it's telling you why it's not possible. You don't have enough, products. You don't have enough clients. You don't have, you don't even have a facility. The mind starts thinking very analytically, and it's missing things that it's creating blocks, and we're missing the opportunities for creativity to creatively solve all of those issues that our mind just brought up, because it's happening without us even noticing. And this is the beauty of this technique, and this is the difference of using this technique, using different aspects of in our goal settings, different techniques in our goal settings, because we want to do things really consciously and mindfully. But sometimes our mind's just going so quick, and it just ran through scenarios without us even pausing to say, whoa, 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 hang on a second. Maybe we can do something different there. So we create patterns, and we want to break out of those so we are in charge at every single point of our process when our mind's thinking. Okay, so here you are, you set a goal, and now your own voice in your head has something negative to say about it. You're going to take note of it, and then you're going to tie it to a feeling. You're going to see how that makes you feel. Is it making you feel angry, sad, confused? Tie any emotion to it. Defeated, upset, guilty, unworthy. You know, any emotion can be tied to how that voice is making you feel. And once you have that, you are going to just close your eyes and see where you feel it in your body. There will be a part of your body that you feel it. You might feel it in your stomach. You might feel it in your chest. You might feel it in your head. Pay attention to that. And now you're going to have an emotion tied to an actual place that you feel it. And you're going to work on remembering when you felt that the last time. And that could have been all the way in childhood, or it could have been 2 days ago. There's something that happened that tied that feeling, that emotion, and you felt it in that place, and it created something. It came together, and your mind took note, and it said, oh no, this is not good. We're not going to do it again. But the mind needs to know that it's okay, because that was applied to that situation that had nothing to do with our goal. But here we are applying it to this situation with our goal, but we are in control. We can decide if this applies or not, right? By us bringing it into our consciousness, into our awareness, we can now dispel that for our mind and say, okay, yeah, that did happen. You know, I set a goal and I didn't reach it, but that doesn't apply to this goal. This has nothing to do with that. So now you can see how that, you just broke that limiting belief that came up to your new goal that had nothing to do with it. You can do this a few times, and I will share more resources if you're interested in Aroma Freedom Technique. As I mentioned, it works with essential oils, so you would need stress away frankincense and lavender to do this technique, and I'm happy to help you with that. But test out that affirmation, that goal that you set as an affirmation, and see what comes up. And then if you're not sure how to go through that, send me a note and I'll help you work through that. But just even bringing that up and being like, oh, I didn't realize that I had those. Write out all of those beliefs, all of those things that, you know, get them out of the way. Write down, you know, what is your mind telling you? Why is your goal not possible? Write them out so that you can be in control now. Now you brought it out of yourself. You're not letting it just run on repeat there. All right. So once you do that, you're going to create even newer affirmations, right? Maybe you're going to add that, you know, certain things that happened in the past don't fit there. So you're just creating new ideas, new ways to approach things, because now you broke some of the limits off and now you have new ideas. So write them down as they apply to your goal. Maybe there's these new ideas that can help you reach your goal that just came through that. So you're going to do that. Once you do that, once you test it out, and that process can be lengthy. So allow yourself 20, 30 minutes just to sit with that and just to run through those limiting beliefs and seeing what comes up in association with your goal. And then if you have a few goals, you're going to have a few rounds to go through. So once you have that conversation with yourself, with your mind, with your consciousness, and then with your conscious mind and subconscious mind, right? So subconscious mind is going to bring things up, and your conscious mind is going to take them and be like, okay, I see what you did there, mind. you thought about that other time, but we're not going to go there. This has nothing to do with it. And your mind's going to believe you because it believes everything you tell it. So your mind's going to be like, oh, that doesn't apply. Okay. And we just broke through something and made your climb to your goal a little easier. So once you do that, set the time for your goal. So if it's a monthly goal, you're going to have 30, 31 days, something like that, as long as the month is, right? If your goal is not monthly, give yourself a time limit. Make it a time limit that is reasonable, so you're not putting it like years out. Some goals are big, but then when you do that, when you build big goals, right? Like in 5 years, this is my goal. You got to break it down and backtrack how you're going to get to it. You're going to break it down by a year, right? So by first year, I got to be here. And second year, I got to be there, right? And then you're going to break down that year, 2 months, right? So you're going to break down and create bite-sized pieces, right? So here we are making this goal for a month. Now we're breaking it down by week and by day. So if I have a goal that I want to reach by the end of the month, that means when I start working on it, backtracking, right, and doing it by week, this is where I have to be each week. And then by day, this is my goal for the day. So now you have a daily goal. And you can write that out as your affirmation and test it out against your own limiting beliefs that you've created. So let's say if your goal is, if it's a 5K and you have to run a certain amount and you broke it down by weeks and now you're down to a day, you are going to write that I am running, and you're going to put that number in. If this is not as measurable of a goal, so let's say if it's something, how you want to feel at the end of the day with your family, that you want to enjoy family time instead of feeling stressed and having to do something else, right? So that's a goal. So then maybe you can break it down to weekly and then to daily by hours. Maybe, the first day of your goal is 2 minutes of feeling less stress. Or maybe, and then you build from that. And by the end, you're adding 2 minutes, right? But the end of the month, you're going to have an hour. You just built yourself up to an hour. So at first to say like, I have an hour of stress-free time, with my family or to myself. And when you write it now, you look at it and you think, wow, this is huge. Like, this is so not doable. When we break it down, everything's doable. So breaking it down to 2 minutes, how doable is 2 minutes of alone time or good quality family time? That's pretty doable. And then you'll build it up to 15 minutes at the end of week 1, 30 minutes at the week of end 2, just by adding those 2 minutes every day. Same with if you're working on income related goal, you're going to put your monthly goal and then break it down to day. Break it down to hour if you need to, right? Give yourself a visual of that. Creates bite-sized chunks that our mind can totally wrap itself around. Sometimes the goal is so big, we even phrase it as affirmation and still nothing's happening. It's because the brain's not comprehending it. It needs that little bite-sized piece. So when you break it down to a day, maybe you have a goal to build something, right? You're going to start little by little, right? Like you can't just build something in a snap, right? You got to get materials for it, and then you have to start putting it together, right? So this is same with your goals. You're putting things together little by little every day. All right, great. So once you have that daily goal, you're going to write it down. Once again, post it on your mirror in the bathroom and go to it and read it every day. I am spending 2 minutes of alone time every day, or I am earning, and put that daily amount. Or if you are looking to build clients. How many clients a day are you meeting? So once you do that, and once you have that on your mirror every single day, the next thing to do is to sit down and write out creative ideas. Because as you're working your goals, you're going to get excited. The creative juice is going to start flowing. You're going to start writing those ideas. Another great way is to pause, take a quick meditative break. And by that, I mean just quietly sit. And sometimes the greatest ideas come through that because we quiet the mind and we're able to listen to our creative mind and get some ideas that way. So that's another tip. Pausing to slow down so we are able to hear ourselves better. Also, building in rest. If you are able to rest, and once again, small chunks, right? Like small increments, you are going to be able to bring more to your goals every single day. So evaluate your schedule. What does it look like? Where can you put in time to work on your goals, get quiet, revisit, get these creative ideas? And I invite you to do that every single day. In the morning, go to your goals, get quiet. It could be a 5-minute practice. Get quiet, and then throw some ideas out that will help you reach that daily goal. And when we're doing that every single day, we're not overwhelmed. We have a very clear picture what needs to be accomplished every day. And if we're accomplishing things that we set out every single day, by the end of the month, can you imagine what we're going to build? This is just going to be the most creative, well thought through, and just smooth plan because we are committing to it every single day. So this is the plan. Set a goal, write it out as a positive affirmation, test it out against limiting beliefs that come your way. If you need help with that, reach out. Go through that and analyze every single one of those and see. Some of them are just going to be like, oh, nope, and you're going to cross it out. You're never going to bring that into your thinking again. And some, you're going to have to dig it a little deeper because some of them are just a little, they're hanging on really tight to you, these beliefs. So even being aware of them, and then as you approach something that pops in your mind, you can evaluate right there and say, I don't think that applies here. And you can move on instead of that being an automatic decision that your brain makes. We love our brain, but we want to be in on decision making and not have it do all the deciding for us. And then that meditative piece, you broke it down by days, getting quiet, really sitting with yourself. There's so much creative energy in you, but the brain just takes over. It just does. It just has that way of controlling everything. It loves to control everything, which is great. Once again, we don't want our brain to stop controlling things, right? Because it helps us to stay alive and be safe, right? This is what our brain does. But some decisions are just not the right decisions made by our brain. So when we get quiet, when we go into our meditative state, and by that I just mean just breathing quietly and not having thoughts running on repeat, we then are able to make decisions that are aligned with our heart and our soul. And our brain might throw a hissy fit and like, no, this makes no sense. But that's okay. When you show your brain that sometimes you do things that it cannot comprehend you doing, you open something up and the brain goes like, okay, maybe I should let some of their creative ideas through once in a while. And this is what we want. We want to be in charge of that creative ideas that come through, because that's going to help us with our goals, because our mind thinks it knows better, but our soul knows the best. All right. So, and then you're going to go to it every single day. Bite-sized pieces of your goal, throw it and start accumulating and compounding and just building and building and building. And by the end of the month, you're going to be amazed at what you've created with ease and smooth sailing. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I love, if you want to go through your own goal setting in this way, reach out. We'll sit down and we'll run through them and see if we can find some limiting beliefs that we can release and flow better through the month. Have a great month, everyone, and I can't wait to hear about your successes. Bye.